Now, we have earlier talked about the organization and its interface with society, environment, and other systems. Now, in this, we are going to emphasize the social processes, and the emphasis would be on organization, human behavior, and social processes. Basically, you know that human behavior is a learned behavior. When we are born, we don't know how to behave except in crying. This is a continuous learning that happens throughout our life. There are two things that we have to remember. Learning again is not static. Whatever we have learned, we unlearn also. The child's example that I was giving you is that it whatever it wants, it does it there, whether wetting the nappy or crying for food. This has to be unlearned. Through the learning process, this unlearning takes place and relearning. The same behavior is relearned with changes that are put on the child through the society, that is its parents, its family. Same thing happens with organizations also. The organization which was, say for example, Ford, he was a dictator, but management also learned to be dictating their terms. In today's world, they cannot keep on dictating. They have to unlearn and relearn, like a child. So, this is where the human behavior is basically the learned behavior. And how this learning takes place? To summarize, is first process is socialization. What is the need of others and what is the need of the individual or the organization? That can be only understood by interacting with others, listening to them, understanding them, and then modifying our thoughts, behavior, and action. Second thing is acculturation. Acculturation is where the norms, values, patterns are learned from others. And sometimes the acculturation is done by the individual, like Gandhiji or Tata. They acculturated this society, the industrial world, this total society, the total world. There are many examples like this. I am giving you the select one. And this culture is very important because the transmission of so-called normalcy is through this culture. So we must get acculturated. And the third significant process is assimilation. Learning is not the end. This has to be assimilated into the system, whether the individual, society, or organization. It has to be assimilated, internalized, and then expressed in terms of behavior. And these three processes facilitate the human learning and behavior, which are closely connected, learning and behavior, in all life stages. Same thing with the organization. The nascent organization which has just started has to learn to socialize its needs. One example is again in this situation, the whole internet has become a part of our life. Starting from marketing, learning, behaving, socializing is all through net and the relevant technological processes. The technology has made us learn new kinds of socialization, new kinds of culture and assimilated in our lives. After the COVID is over, after this pandemic is over, we'll again unlearn perhaps and then relearn new things. Social institutions like family, group, political institutions, economic institutions, all these are established and they facilitate the socialization processes. We learn how to behave and how to conduct ourselves. So, individuals as organisms shape their behavior both on experiential, what they experience, and empirical exposure, what others in reality are doing. So, this is where the establishment of reality is made. Thus, the society becomes a web of social relationships which are very basic to human relations. What are these social processes? First one that we have to understand is the contact. Contact means physical contact, social contact, mutual contact. Contact helps us to create understanding of ourselves, others, and we come to know others and their society. So, it's a contact is just not limited to proximity or physical contact, but can be having a lot of ways for getting acquainted with others and understanding and molding ourselves and others. So, this is basically a facilitatory process. In organizations, say for example, the formal groups are made by contact sets. Marketing people get in contact with each other, they form a group. Product people get contact with each other, understand and relate. So, the interrelations in various kinds of groups in organizations, they strengthen the organizational structure and achievements of the organizational objective. Thus, the contact becomes a very, very significant process through which we come to know the objectives of the organization at a macro level, objectives of each other, that is their own groups at a micro level, and individuals at a very mini micro level. For the formal group, especially the contacts are helpful in such exercises like team building, quality circles, cross-functional teams, project teams, and this helps in further establishing, strengthening the formal groups which are essential parts of the organization. Then second important process is interpersonal relations. This is very important for informal groups like people belonging to different organizational groups come in contact with each other during lunchtime or in their clubs, which are actually shaped by how close you are to each other. The values that you share, they form your understanding, your awareness and mutual relationship and respect. So, interpersonal relations, they depend on contact, formal or informal, soft or forced. Contact becomes a very important social process. Secondly, we have the adjustment and accommodation, which means that every individual is different, every organization is different, every group is different. but we have to live in harmony. So we have to keep on adjusting to each other, making others adjust to you, and also accommodate each other's views to create a reality which is facilitatory, which is not compulsive or forced and creating pain, but we have to reach to a minimum level of living and letting others live. So this is the adjustment and accommodation. Then we come to a very, it might sound little contradictory, conflict. Conflict, is very important for human life, organizational life, social life. Without conflict, we are dead. But if you leave, every organization goes through conflict. The very process of organizing or producing certain things is taking away resources from others. Without that, organizations, individuals, society is incomplete. But whenever no two individuals are same, so if something is different, conflict is inevitable, endemic, and sometimes very essential. But the only thing that bothers us, that if we leave the conflict unaddressed, then it is going to be very harmful to the system. So there are many ways of resolving conflicts, and organizations keep on accepting them. Say for example, you win, others lose, win-lose. That is, your gain is others' loss. Lose-lose, where both the parties lose. So the you can get the live example in international conflicts. Both India and Pakistan are losing, but they are continuing with that lose-lose strategy. And the best strategy that we always advocate is win-win, where both the parties win, which is very difficult. But anyway, depending on your circumstances, no prescription can be given. Sometimes it is win-lose, like the taxes, the government wins, people lose, but at the end the people win and nobody loses. So we have to understand the different processes that are inevitable in our life, and conflict is, in other words, endemic and essential sometimes. Second, another process is competition. Organizations, most of them live on competition. Amazon is in competition with Flipkart. Flipkart is in competition with Amazon. Like that, so many. And in today's world, especially at present times, we find lots of these internet selling goes on, and which is becoming very, very popular also. But all these should not be without a reason. It must be explainable, and the organizational justice system sometimes may give rise to conflict. It takes sometimes from somebody and pays somebody. So that is, whosoever loses is in conflict, but whosoever gains is not in a conflict. So these kinds of competition should not be harming each other. As far as possible, you have to have a positive approach towards competition. Competition is initiated through promotions, performance pay in organization, but they must be justified. That is the main contention. Then another process is cooperation, which leads to conflict reduction, and it is truth that if we cooperate, the healthy organized societies keep on remaining healthy. Cooperation is a very important thing, but cooperation also is difficult sometimes. And then we have assimilation, that is taking in and absorbing the external stimulus in ourselves. It is a psychological, social and cultural tendency. Basically, in assimilation, what happens is that it makes us aware of the realities and internalize these realities into behavior pattern. What we were 1 year back, we are not the same person. Maybe this is due to some reason, but then many a times these reasons are not so obvious. And this is very, very important to behavior modification, changing the behavior, modifying it, assimilating and making the organization dynamic and not static. So this is an individual, organizational and social process that is very important. And we have, not lastly but very importantly, the acculturation that I have already explained, and socialization, getting into touch with each other with a meaning. Now we come to some processes from individual, that is at the micro level, to social level. Before I go into the details, let me again remind you of the micro level, which is at a limited base, and macro is where the expanded base. Parekh, a very well known psychologist in organization, he identified a few processes that are very important for us, for all of us to understand and put it into our own system. Now let me tell you that this is not possible to detail in this limited time, but we'll try to explain the issues, the basic tenets in brief. First, he takes the person, because individual is at the core, at the base of any organization. First thing, that is existential process, the right to live. This is where, whether you are a worker at the lowest system or you are at the top, everybody has a right to exist, to live, just not to live, but live it with dignity. That is the existential, is a philosophical process, but very real. Without that, without understanding that, we cannot proceed further. So we have to understand each other's existential reality, and every individual has an existential reality which must be understood by the other. That only can promote cooperation, collaboration, all the processes that we have talked earlier. The person is the interperson, that is between two persons. We have to create something known as the empathic process, that is getting into shoe of the other person and know where it pinches. So you will come to know that the other person is getting pained by this thing or object or behavior, that is developing the empathy. Then the role we have to define, keep on redefining, remolding, repositioning, and that will help us, the person especially, in coping with the external drives external stresses, external burdens, as well as internal stresses, depression, burden. So the person is very important for the organization to start with. In today's world, as psychologist, I can tell you that depression is going up. Everybody is saying that this is due to the COVID-19. I don't believe so. This was there, but COVID-19 has made it come to surface because people are living in their limited space. So everybody is crying out, and the media is telling that this person is repressed, this person is doing this. This is not the case. It was there, it will be there, but we have to keep on coping with our role, and that should not be a depressed role. Then we come from the individual, we come to the group. Now here, this is a collaborative process where we come into contact with each other, collaborate with each other, coordinate with each other, justify our being with each other, then make compromises, competition, all these processes that become the building block for any organization and society. Then we come to organization. The main important thing from the procedural level is the growth. Growth process is the basic, fundamental for the organizational survival. It has to grow. No static organization can survive. This growth process is through environment interface. It must, readily comply with the demands of the environment and also create demand for itself in the environment. You have to change, the organization has to change, organization has to modify. The latest example in the Western world is the electric car. They have come to realize the kind of pollution that is being caused by diesel and petrol, and it will be a worldwide phenomena very shortly in a due process, because we cannot keep on polluting the environment and damaging our own self. So there is a mutuality of influence. We have to influence the environment and get influenced by the environment. Till now we have been only influencing the environment. Now the time has come for us to get influenced. The community, the awareness that this is needed and this is not needed. The value of the society and all such things, they have to be put in place. Now very briefly I will talk about the changes that are happening. Now we can go back to the organizations where they are from times immemorial, but many developments have taken place in the shape, need, size, norms, the whole concept of sufficiency, plus in India the spiritualism. These are very important, which got eroded during the phases when India was not free, and this part is now understood by the organizations, and you can see some of the expressions in the advertisements that are put for any product, how it is going to affect human life, how your life is going to be value added through the different kinds of projects that the organizations are taking place. Another thing that we were consisting of the joint family, which is broken. But if we neglect the family and social values, then what is happening in today's world is where people are recognizing their family members. It is a very sad thing for any society to know that father didn't know the value of their children, the children didn't know the value of their parents. They have lost the values and more individualistic, more commerce oriented, and the pluralism that was very much there in our social fabric had been lost, but now hopefully it is being brought back. We cannot give thanks to the COVID, but it is an effect that is happening, and the post-independence period is where we see a lot of developments and industrialization. Then we come to post-emergency period where the rules, regulations, impositions we understood, and we rediscovered the meaning of freedom, and that has brought in new kind of social thinking, environmental thinking, industrial thinking, and a vision that is away from such constraints which were put in on the society. And one thing that India is facing is the contradiction. We keep on crying over the value change. Why? Because there are contradictions in parents' approach to life, organizations' approach to life, and social approach to life. What we need to do is understand the contradictions and understand why they are happening. Once we know why they are happening, it will be easy for us to change them, to live happily. And the first unit of organization, social organization, is the family. Then we come to other formal, informal organizations. At the end of the day, it is the human behavior at work, whether at home, they are also working, whether in society or in formal organization, factories, they must be understood. This is where the process approach to understanding organizational behavior becomes. Thank you very much for your patient listening.